Mesechta Bava basra daf tzadik aleph amud aleph. We're starting from Tanur Rabbanan, the top, Mamzer, the top of the Yaman. Tanur Rabbanan. Tanur Rabbanan, you learned in this talk about Yisrael with the bottom sheish mem chaya nefesh yigayin yenes tzadik aleph amud aleph. The top line, mamish. One back. Yeah, Tanur Rabbanan. The Rabbanan you learned. Hey, Mr. Yisrael, you're not allowed. Yeah, it's a land. Yeah, Rabbanan you learned that you're not allowed to have a middleman in Eretz Yisrael. By things that are essential for a person. You go yenis, shmani, muslasis, like wine, oils, and flour. You shouldn't have a middleman. The one that produces the wine should be the one to sell it. There shouldn't be, because it goes to a middleman, the prices go higher. So there's a middleman in between, so he's buying it from the guy. Then the price will be higher for the people. So he says, okay, if you're buying, if it's not raw goods. Okay, so this is different. If you're going to buy the raw goods and turn it into grapes and you'll turn it into wine, then you're allowed. But if if that guy turned it into wine and you're buying it as wine and then selling it for a higher price, that you can do when it comes to the essentials. Which is wine, oil, and flour. So I love. Okay, so when there's a lot of the item, then it's not a problem because you can't high the price. There's gonna be people that are gonna go lower. So competition keeps it down. But we're talking about it's not so easy. He did. He was a middleman for wine and oil. Why? It says he wanted to be yayin. So look at Rabbi Yehuda by wine. He felt like Rabbi Yehuda, because Rabbi Yehuda said we don't need so much wine. It's like drugs in America. China got rid of all the drugs. They were killing the people. No drugs there. Hatten drugs. So Eretz Yisrael, Rabbi Yehuda nicht gewollt, man soll haben zu viel Wein. The wine so nicht nas yayin. Okay, but zu viel is nicht good. Nicht nas yayin yotza sein. A person can hold his gedorim als a mensch, and the inner parts, the behemisha part, doesn't come out because he's with all his senses as a person. But once he starts drinking wine, he starts losing the senses. He can do bad things. That's why they said we don't mind if they export the wine outside.
Opened up a new store here now, Schnitzel.
Okay.
He says I'm not bringing in any beer, any wine.
Oh.
Because he's one of the boys you get.
They're all high. Oh, very nice. So it's yeah. A holy schnitzel, yeah. Right. Bishaman with oil. Why was he allowed to be a middleman for oil? Because because in the city of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah there was so much oil, so it wouldn't really affect the price if he was a middleman. Okay, even if he was a middleman, there are other people that are going to sell it directly. He made a panas out of it. Good, he charged more, but people were able to get it for cheaper and buy direct. There was so much oil all over the place. Right. They don't have to buy from him. You can't make twice by the eggs. What does that mean? Mari said, Rav and Shmuel are arguing, what does it mean, pamayim babayim? Chadoma, one said it means al chatre. That means up to double you can make by eggs. It says you're not allowed to sell more than a sixth, but by eggs you're allowed to go up to double because it's a big tircha. He brought down here. No, it's first of all, it's hard to get, and he had to take care of it. That's what it seems like. He said, by eggs, let me see where he brings it down.
Like now,
4. Yeah.
Like now the eggs are very expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive. It's crazy. Yeah. First, it's not chaya nefesh. You can live without it. So, only where didn't we want there should be gouging only in those things that are essentials. Eggs were not essential. But there was a big tircha to deal with it and to bring it from place and bring it. That's what he says, and to bring it from place to place. It was and the profits were very small anyway. He says, yeah, he says the profits were very small anyway. No, it means you can't have two middlemen. One middleman is enough. He'll high the price once. One middleman will sell it to another middleman, to another salesperson. The price will go up more, so that they didn't want. Al pragmatia. they would daven.
So they were controlling the market.
Yeah, this is not so good, but like what Kamala wants
This
to
is what
do.
it looks like.
The Kamala wants to do that, and they say the whole economy will go down the drain. Masriyan al pragmatia. They daven for pragmatia, meaning schira shehuzla, that fell down in price. Because we know on Shabbos he melizik. You're not allowed to cry on Shabbos. It's a Shabbos evening from Simcha. But when it comes to that, to a price that the economy is going to fall so hard, then you're allowed to dub on Shabbos. I'm going to have Yechman. You're going to pishtim in Bava, like the linen clothing in Bava, the yain Hashem Eretz Yisrael, and the oil and wine, the wine and oil in Eretz Yisrael. I'm going to have Yosef, who the soul that come Asav Shisa. He says that the scheda fell so hard that whatever 10 begadim used to cost, whatever 6 begadim used to cost, now you can buy for 6 begadim 10 begadim. That means it fell down 40%. So we know we can start crying even on Shabbos when the economy falls down 40%. You're not allowed to go from Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz, because through this you're being mafki yourself in the mitzvahs. Which one? Trumeis, Maises, Shmita. There's another pirish that says from Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. So you're not allowed to leave Eretz Yisrael. It's Fashidach, Elim Kain, only if the Mechira went up so high, the Amdu Sasayim Chitin Besela. If the prices were so high in Eretz Yisrael, it was unbearable to buy food, there was so much money, so then you're allowed to leave Eretz Yisrael. Amar Rab Shimon said, they must say. When is it mutter? He argues with the Tanakama. When are you allowed to leave Eretz Yisrael? Bizman sheina meitzel likach. Only when you can't even find to buy. But in the time that you're able to find chitim likach to buy, I feel I'm the sabisela. Even if the prices were even higher, sabisela lo yetzi, you weren't allowed to leave. You're not allowed to leave Israel.
Come back with the Arabs, cheaper.
I remember when I was in the Eretz Yisrael, one guy went to fix his car by the Arabs. He went out of the line, and they killed him and his son. You don't go to the Arabs. It doesn't. It was that summer. It was last summer.
You want to give him a good price.
A good price. They gave him a price for life. Yeah. Sure. Elimelech, who I think was the son of Nachshon, we're going to talk about it anyway, and his 2 children. I'm sorry, no, Elimelech was married to Nomi, right. And she had 2 sons, Machlon and Chilyon. They left Eretz Yisrael in the time of hunger, and they went to live in the city of in the land of Moav, and there, not long after, they died. Elimelech, Machlon, Elimelech and the 2 children died. There was a hunger in Eretz Yisrael, and they died in Moav. Look, so these were great people, tzaddikim, and they were the caretakers of the generation. Why were they punished? Because they left Chutz La'aretz, because they left Eretz Yisrael to live in Chutz La'aretz.
And they were so tzaddikim, did you know about it?
Yeah, so they were punished. The Eibush punished even for a little thing. Shenemar, like it says in the pasuk, that Nomi, who was the wife of Amelech and Rus, Nomi, who was the wife of Elimelech and Rus, was the wife of Machlon. She was a daughter-in-law. So till they came to Beis Lachem, remember this, that Rus was married to somebody who was from Beis Lachem. Remember that. So it says, when they came, this is Nomi, who left. Look what she did. She left because of a hunger. They shouldn't die, and they died. They went to Moav. Amar Rav Yitzchak, Amar Chazisim Nomi, you see Nomi sheyatzas me'eretz, that she left from Eretz Yisrael l'chutz la'aretz. Also, look what happened at the end. She died. All those that left because of a hunger not to die died. So by Moav, it wasn't safe for hunger, but it says they died. Amar Rav Yitzchak says, that same day when Rus came back to Eretz Yisrael with her mother-in-law Nami, Mesa Ishta Shel Boaz, the wife of Boaz died. And this is what the people say, Adaloi Shachiv, Shichva Kaima Manu Baise. Before a person is here, the Rashbam says is Makdim Refula Maka, that before Boaz's wife died, Rus was there already, so that Rus could take the place of Boaz's wife who died. The Eibishter is Makdim Refula Mak, he wants to bring out. That Ruth already had moved there in the time when Boaz's wife had died. Okay, so it's not that Boaz's wife died and then years later Ruth came. The Eibishter is Makdim Refula Mak. First Ruth was there, Boaz's wife died, so now Ruth could take the place and marry Boaz. Amar Rab bar Rav Huna, Amar Rab. Rab bar Rav Huna said in the name of Rab, Iftzan Zav Boaz. Iftzan is going on Boaz. What does he want to tell us here? Like the other saying of Rab bar Rav Huna. Amar Rab bar Rav Huna, Amar Rab. May have asked Mishtois Asa Boaz. The 120 parties Boaz made. L'shishim bana, for the 60 children he had. Remember, like it says?
How many wives you had?
He lay le'ivtzan shleishim banim. Boaz had 30 sons, u'shleishim banis, and 30 daughters. Yeah, shilach achutza. He married, got men, u'shleishim banis, having lebanim, and then he brought min achutz, and he brought girls to become daughter-in-laws from the outside. Vayishpat es Yisrael sheva shanim, and he, Ivtzan, which is Boaz, judged the Yidden for 7 years. And from each one of for each one of his children, he made 2 parties. Echad, which was Sudas Edisin, which was done by Beis Aviv in the house of the father of the son. The Echad, and the second party for each individual son, child, Sudas Nisuyim, by Beis Chamav in the house of the father-in-law of the son. But in all these parties, he didn't invite Manoach. Manoach was the father of Shimshon HaGibar. But at that time, Manoach didn't have any children. He says, Kutna, this mule, Akara, which is cannot have children, be my parali. How is he ever going to pay me back? I'm going to invite him to so many parties, and he's not going to invite me even to one party. Forget it, I don't need it. So we learned in the B'nais Kulan, all these children basically died in the lifetime of Boaz. And this is what the people, this is the market for what? Yeah, all his children.
60 children.
60, correct. 60.
It was
Plus the
grandchildren also died.
So where were the grandchildren? I didn't even know them.
Kids?
It doesn't say he had kids. No, nothing.
But nobody had kids.
Nothing. There was nothing left of him. So it says,
60.
So here we learn out Shishon Lamelich. What the Ichbal, the Eilit Chad, the Meshishon Zaris. Here we learn out, if you have 60 kids, don't think that we should stop. Don't stop. Keep on going, because that one kid, look, that one kid that came out from Ruslet, he had superseded all the other children that they had. Even David HaMelech came out of her. So he says here, Ichbal Eilit Chad, and the Meshishon Zaris, that it's more meshubach from all the other 60, because Oivad was born from Boaz, and from Oivad was born from Boaz and Rus, and Oivad gave birth to Yishai, and David came from Yishai. So Rus, from this one child that they had, was more meshubach than all the 60 children. So don't stop. So we still have children. Keep on going. Exactly about it.
Today is no problem for that.
Yes, today's no problem. Simen Melech Avraham Eser Shanim Shenifta Nisnas Levade. It says the simen now of the next items that we're going to talk about is King Avraham, 10 years.
It brings out that he had to have a Biswas
Yeah, sure, because he didn't invite Manoach, because he thought he's not going to ever get invited by Manoach, even though Manoach had Shimshon HaGibar after. Shimshon HaGibar. It says 10 years, Shenifta, the passing away. We're going to talk about Nisnas Levade. No, Melech. These are simanim of what we're going to talk about. King. We're going to talk about Avraham. We're going to talk about 10 years. We're going to talk about Niftar, passing away. Niftar. No, Esashonim. No, we're going to talk about Esashonim. Amarav Chonon. Amarav. Elimelech. Here we start with Melech. Elimelech. This Salmain. Elimelech. Remember what we said? Elimelech was married to Naomi. Okay. And Visalmain, Upleini Almaini, Ravi Naomi, and the father of Naomi, Kulan b'nei Nachshon ben Aminadav Haim. They were all children of Nachshon ben Aminadav. Mike Mashlam, what is he coming? Yes, very good. He's the one that jumped in and said that the Eibishter will surely split the seeds. Shevet Yehuda, My Kamash, what does he come to tell you? Even one who has the schus of the obvious with tzaddikim, like Elimelech was the son of Nachshon, and Machlim and Kilyam were the grandchildren of Nachshon, aside from the father and mother side. So their schus doesn't help them once they leave Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz. The mother of Abraham, now we're going to talk about Abraham, that's the next one. Melech was Elimelech.
They come to Crown Heights, all these Israelis here, all you hear is Hebrew here. To send them back.
This is Terech's wife, right? Terech's wife? Ime Avrom.
Oh, no, Terech's wife. Who is so the meaning was saying Amasloi. It says Amasloi Bar Kanavai. This is one of the questions that they give on the Mivchan HaKlali from the 8th grade to the 9th grade, because these are not mentioned in the Torah. Who is the mother of Avram?
They don't say it.
So here it says Amasloi Bar Kanavai.
Well, how come the Torah doesn't say it?
So the Gemara is saying it, but it was known. No, but it was known who the mother was. I don't know why he doesn't say. So Imei the Haman also was called Amasloi, but Bas Oirefti. Simonech, how would you be able to tell between the mother of Avram and the mother of Haman? So he says, look what it says. It says Oirafti, right? It says Amasloi Bas Oirafti. Oirev is a raven, which is a female raven, which is a Tamei the bird. So that's connected with Haman, who was Tamei. But Karnavai, when it says Amasloi Bas Karnavai, the mother of Avram, Karnavai is Kvasim, Shepslach. Shepsin is Tahir. So it's connected with Avram, which is Tahir. So even the David, who was the mother of David, and it says Bas Adol Shmal. It says Bas Adol. Even the Shimshain, Tzlel Poinius. Vachase, and the sister of Shimon, Nasha. Her name was Nasha.
That's why they say Yiddish Shanachas.
It's Shanachas.
No, because Nachas was...
No, it's Nashyon. Labai Nafkamina. Why does it say, why did he have to mention this? L'tshuvas aminim. Because the minim, the Apikusim was saying, who was the mother? It's baloney, whatever. This doesn't, it's fiction. It's a fiction. All these, Abraham and all these people. Who was the mothers? That's why he went through was saying the mother, the names of the mothers, but these Apikusim. Others say it's Lauplainius, because by a Nazir, if you even say, you don't have to say Haremi Nazir to become a Nazir. You could say, I want to be like the son of Slelpanius. And then you automatically become a Nazir. Because who is the son of Slelpanius? Shimshon, I give it. Yeah.
Where does it say the word? It's not, it's a Gemara, but what? Shema. He asks Shuli in the David, then he says...
Nitzeves Basadol Shema. Oh, very good.
No. They're asking, what's the game of Shema? They have wrong, doesn't say Shema.
I know, I see that. It's probably ist. I have to look, but I don't have time. I won't finish. Okay. I'll look back. No, I'm going to look back later. But no, don't be sorry. It's a good question. 10 years Abraham Avinu was put in jail. Who put him in jail? Terach. Because he broke all the Avodah Zaras. And so first, why did they do that? They gave him a 10-year life sentence, a 10-year death row. And then they threw him in the Urkaz the Mifta because he was too young. He was 3 years old at that age. So they had to wait till he becomes a man. So 10 years. It's the name of a city. That's where he was placed under that row. No, they weren't allowed. They had to be a man. So Rav Chizda, even Zira, the Kusa, even Zira, which was in the city of Kusa, they were Kazdim. And that's where Nimrod then threw him into the Kalachiv, into the fire. Yeah. But we had to wait 10 years. So this is the 10 years we're talking about. That Avram was 3 years old when he rebelled against the father, he broke all the idols, and they put him in a death row for 10 years. Yeah. But the Bar Mitzvah present. But 3 years in Kusa and 7 years in Kardu, and Avdimi said the reverse. 7 years in Kusa and 3 years in Kardu. I just wanted to say that because I think I left it out. Rav Chanan bar Rava said the name of Rav. That day that Avraham Avinu passed away from the world, they all stood in the Shura of Avelis. like Bezok Tamachim Menachem. So yeah, and they said, "Oy loy lo'elam sha'avad." Woe is to him the world that they lost the manhigay, the leader of the world. Oy la lasvina sha'avad kvartina, and woe is to the ship that lost its captain. Okay, it says the pasuk l'chashem amlochem amisnas l'chol. To you, you rule. And you rule all of those that are misnase, all those in the high positions that come to the high positions. From here we learn out, even a person who was elevated to a little position, to be a memuna over the beiris, to give water to all the fields, to be able to water their fields, from who made it happen? The Eibishter. The Eibishter is ruling even those little positions that a person is elevated to. Hashem is ruling over him too. Yeah. Here he's coming to tell you, in the name of Reb Shimon ben Yochai, that Elimelech, remember before Machlin, Mechloyen, they were punished because we said, why? Because they left Eretz Yisrael. So the kasha is, no, in the time when there was still food. It says they would have never left if there was food. Rabbi Chiva argues completely. He says, even if there would have only been subin, they wouldn't have left. They were tzaddikim. Subin is bran. There's mamish, nothing of food. There's the most schmachster food. Lo yotze, they wouldn't have left Eretz Yisrael. So why were they punished? Obviously, they left because there was zero food. There was a hunger. So because they should have stayed and be mevakish from the Eivishter for their generation. They were the leaders. The loy bikshu, and they didn't daven. It says a person, when you have to cry for food, so you have to gather. When the hunger comes, I'm reading from the Rashbam. It's a chayv on the leaders to gather all the people together. Lizek betfila lerachmei Hashem, to daven, scream to Hashem for rachmanas. And that's what, huh?
That's why they call
Manoyach, no, this has no, that's not Manoyach.
They also didn't dispel for the.
No, Manoyach has nothing to do. No, Manoyach was the father of Shimshon. No.
No, I'm talking about Noach.
Oh, Noach. Yeah. That's why he was lower than Avraham. He didn't daven, right. Amar Rabba Bachana, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Rabba Bachana said the name of Rabbi Yochanan Leishano, Ella Mois Bezel. This that the Chacham said in the Braisa, that you could leave, is not when the money is cheap, meaning upeidas v'yoika and the fruits are expensive. You're right, you have to pay a lot of money for the food. That's not a reason to leave, because you still can get food. Yeah, you're going to lose all your money.
So much, buy less.
You buy less, or you'll give it. But it's expensive. Yeah, that's life. Like today, but what's if the money was hard to make? So he says, "Afilu am the Abba seen the seller, even if there was 4 signs for a seller, but if you didn't have the money, the seller to buy it, it was hard to make money. So that's a reason to yoitzin. Then you can leave." But not if it was the food was very expensive and you have money. But if you can't get money, and even if the food is cheap, but you can't buy it, you're you can't do nothing. Simon Sela Poel Charuva tell you.
But come back later if you go out and make money and come back.
Oh, okay, no, it's that's what we're talking about. They left in Moya.
Then you're supposed to go back.
Later they came back, but she came back.
Doesn't state that.
No, you're right. But they thought it'll never. We'll see in the Gemara. They thought this hunger will never stop. Simon Sela.
It is not a time also today for Israel to make money in America.
For Panasa, maybe you have to ask these things. You have to ask yourself. Even when it comes to shidduchim, you gotta ask. Simon Sela Poyel, a stone, a worker, charuba, a boxer, talia, a boy, amnim. They say we're going to talk about these topics. I remember the Tkufa Kad Havakayomim Abba Sin Besela. The 4 sign went for a seller. It was so cheap. Bava the fish the fichi kafan. Nevertheless, the stomachs were so hungry, it was bloated. They couldn't eat. In Tveria, from the Mereiv Ra, from the big hunger, because Medeles Isa, because people couldn't even get a hold of a little
the stomach
a
blew
cup get. They couldn't even get a little penny. They couldn't get a
The
hold
stomach
of.
blew up.
The stomach blew up from hunger. They couldn't even get a penny. I remember I remember that workers would never allow themselves to rent it out to go to do work in the east of the city. Why? Because of the smell of the baking of the bread that was in Tveria, that the pass of Tveria, the wind would come from Ma'ariv and bring it to Mizrach, and a person would smell it, and it says the one Piddush, they would die. I remember
They had no food to play.
the Poilim didn't have enough money to buy food, and when
Off the fields, whatever they're planting, whatever they're working.
it doesn't seem like there was food there. It was a time of a hunger, but in other places they had whatever they had. I remember, or they didn't have money. It said they didn't have money. I remember I remember when a child would break open a boxer, but have a nugget chutta the dusha, a stream of honey, of oil. Al train the would fall on the kid's hands. There was so much. Like Eretz of his chol the bash. That's mamish the bracha. Rabbi Elazar says Nehina. I remember kad haba notel urba bisa. That I remember when a raven would grab a piece of meat and fly away, and sit on the top of a wall. The nugget chutta the mishka mereish shura yadlara. He says from the meat it was so fatty that the oil would come mereish shura from the top of the wall down the wall
To the earth.
till the ground. I remember Havu.
Everybody remembers.
No, Rabbi Yechon is saying he remembers how Metailim Talia Vital Yosef Shuka. I remember when boys and girls would play in the marketplace. Kvashis Esei or Kvashev Esei. And when they were 16 and 17 years old, they wouldn't sin. That was a chiddush. Today you have a boy and a girl playing at that age, then you're bound for trouble there. But in those days, 16, 17-year-olds, boys and girls, played together.
It was normal.
Heinz is a shvera meise. Rabbi Yochanan said, Nehina, I remember, kad haba amrim midrasha. I remember when they would say in the Beis Medrash, the moide lehu naf b'dayan. One who's misratzen, is moide to the goyim, to the getchkes, they fall in their hands, and they have to be strong against them. The misrachitz alein dilhain. Those who have betachin in them and they start revealing all their secrets, everything is taken away. He brings the story with Chizkiyahu. Chizkiyahu told them about all his treasures. He was bragging and everything. They knew exactly where everything was, so they went and they took everything. Okay, see if it says in Megillas Rus that the names of the sons of Elimelech were Machloin and Chilyain. Those were the sons of Nami, who married Abimelech.
Yeah.
So Abimelech with Nami had two sons, Machlon and Chilyon. They both died also. Abimelech. It says Elimelech. Elimelech. Yeah. No. Elimelech. We said it just before. I have to go back, but I know it's Elimelech. Machlon and Chilyon. The two sons were Machlon and Chilyon. Elimelech and Machlon and Chilyon died because they left Eretz Yisrael, according to one day. Yeah? Others because he wasn't mispalil for the Yidden. They were leaders. And it also says Yoyash v'Saraf, that the names were Yoyash v'Saraf. Which one was it? Machlon the Chilyon or Yoyash v'Saraf? So the Gemara Rav and Shmuel, it's Machlek zwischen Rav and Shmuel. Chad Omar Machlon v'Chilyon. One says it was Machlon Chilyon Shman was their name. V'lama Nika Shmam Yoyash. Why did we give them a name Yoyash v'Saraf? Because Yoyash, they said, no way we're going to be redeemed. Here's where I want to tell you that they believe the hunger will last forever. They're not coming back. You remember he said Yitzim and they're going to come back. They never believed that. They believe the hunger will last a long time.
7 years.
Right. And they were deserving to be punished by the Eibishter for this that they left. The real name was Yoyash v'Saraf. Why were they called Machlon Chilyon? Machlon Shasa Guf Chulin. They made the Guf into Chulin because they left from the Eretz HaKodesh to Chutzlan. So they made the Guf Chulin. They became a Chuyev to be killed. Kliya means falent ven, because they left there. See something? Tanya, we learned in the Shmon. We learned like the one that says the real name was Machlon Chilya. Tanya, like we learned in the Rabbi, what is the kavanah of the pasuk? V'yoikim v'anshe kaiseva v'yoyesh v'sadav asher ba'olu l'mayav v'yashuvu lechem hadvarim atikim. So the Gemara is going to explain each word over here. V'yoikim said Yeshua shehekim shua l'anshe givay. Yoikim is referring to Yeshua. He fulfilled his shvua, even though these Givonim were liars. They came, they dressed up like travelers. They were Canaanim. They were supposed to be killed out. They said, "Oh, we're travelers. We want to join you," and they made a treaty. And Yeshua promised that he won't kill them. So that's what happened. He even saved them later, also.
Yeshua made a mistake.
He made a mistake, but he kept the promise. These are the same. Yeshua. These are the Anshe Givoin that lie to Yeshua. So here you see Yoyish v'Sarav. Elu Machlim Echilyon. Who is Yoyish v'Sarav? The real names were Machlim Echilyon. So you see, the real names was Machlim Echilyon. Why do they call him Yoyish v'Sarav? Yoyish and Yisashu Me'agula. Like we said before, yeah, that they were Me'ayish from the Yula. Sarav Shenchayvu. They were Mechuyev the Misa of Seifel Lamachim from Hashem. Asher Ba'olu L'Mayav. That they lived with Maya. Shenasu Nashma Yaviyoyis. They married Nashma Yaviyoyis, Rus and Arpa. They married. Machlin and Chilyon married Rus. Machlin married Rus and Chilyon married Arpa. But Yeshuvi Lechem, Zu Rus HaMayaviyah is going on Rus HaMayaviyah because Machlin was from Beis Lechem. Sheshova v'nitkul of Beis Lechem Shel Yehuda. She's had attachment to the place of Beis Lechem of Yehuda. And that's why she married Boaz, was from there, from Beis Lechem. These words are really old words, secret words from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It was already said for many, many years before that she's going to marry, Rus is going to marry Boaz, and David HaMelech will come out of him. I found David, my servant, Uksiv in again to the light, and the two daughters of light from when the Shnayim was turned over. The two daughters, one Zem Gelap in the Tata, and the first one, the older one that lived with the father, was they called the child Moyav. So that's where so light daughter. So the Eibishter was saying this plan of Rus was already from the time of Lot. It was all planned out from way before. Wow. Like it says, it says Bizdain. I'm reading now from the Medrash over there. The Pirish Maharavas, that's one of the big Mefarshim. Marazav was one of the big Mefarshim in the Medrash HaGav. You see it a lot. So there it says, the only reason why the daughter of Lot was deserving to be saved from Zdaim, from the turning over of the Mahapechas of Zdaim, is because David was going to come out of her. That's the
somebody else.
Okay, good. These are the potters, those that sit by the saplings, and the fence. With the king, while he's doing his work, sitting over there. They kept to the father's shvur. The father's shvur, his name was Yoinada ben Rechav. Yoinada ben Rechav commanded his children, don't drink wine and live like simple people. Because he had an avur, the Churban is coming. He had an avur, so he wanted Itziv al Tzatzov, Shaloi Lishvas Yayin, Shaloi Livnes Botim, Shaloi Lizois as Hasadav, Shaloi Nintay Kromim, Ela Lichyois Chayim Pshutim Be'oyalim. They should live a simple lifestyle. And it says, Shaba'is Shakva Nigzer Gzeiras Achub Ma'beis Hamikdash V'Shalayim. So Yonadav ben Rechav Chosh, he was concerned. It's already now he feels that the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. When Yirmiyah came to tell the Yidden off, he says, "Look, Yonadav ben Rechav told his sons so many more things, and they all listened. They lived a very simple life, and they listened. And you don't listen to me. I'm telling you could save the Churban. That's what he was chastising the Yidden. He was telling off the Yidden. Anyway, it says, it says, good day, 1 second. What does it mean, saplings? That's referring to the king, the rulers, the Melucha of Shleima, that was like a sapling tree that grew thicker and thicker and thicker. It was very strong. Ugdeira, fences, they said, they answered things that are mutter in order to be machik people from coming to do an aveda. Imam Melech v'melachtei Yashasam, with the Melech while he's doing his work, they sat there. Zu rus amoyavia sheras b'machas shleimas, that she even saw the Melucha of Shleima 4 generations later. Ben b'neish or Ben b'nah. Shanema, like it says, vayasem kisei le'im Melech, that Shleima Melech made a kisei for the aim, the mother of kings. That's referring to Rus. That's Rus, who was the great grandmother. Yeah. And they will eat. It says, if you keep to the year of Shvius, you should plant in the 8th year. Until the new Tvor comes, the old Tvor will be below Sal Mintoin. In fact, what might below Sal Mintoin? What does it mean without Sal Mintoin? Without that worm that makes the Pedis rot. Shdefa means that because Tvor itself becomes warm and wet, so it rots on its own. We learned like Rav Sheshes that it's referring to Salmintoin. I'm sorry, it's referring that it rots on its own. And we learned like Rav Nachman that it's a worm. It says that you're going to eat from the old till the 9th year. I would think, the Yidden are waiting for the new crop to come out because the old one is going to rot. Mepnei Yoshin Shakola, because the old one is going to get destroyed. It's come to teach us, no, that the Tvor will grow on its own. They're not waiting for the new Tvor to grow fully, because the old Tvor will be fine. We learned like Avsheshes, I would have thought that they're hoping for the new Tvor, because the old ones will be bad. Till the Tvor will grow from itself, that it's not going to be bad. No, it says it says a double lashon, Yoshem Nation. Anything that's older is better, is more mishubach. And I don't know this only by items that are good, the derech to become old, like old wheat and wine is good. Like Peiris, how do we know that they will also be good if it gets old? The pasuk says when they get to Shvi, it's a double Yoshanation, that even the Peiris that normally rot will be good, will be preserved. The Kolmakin, any category of Peiris. It says the old one you're going to have to remove. That's in storage. It's good there, but you're going to have to remove it for the new ones. Comes to tell us, look, the Yoshin lasted so long that the oitzes were filled, and they had to remove it. The granaries, and the granaries was filled with new. How are we going to take out the old ones for the new ones? Yeah, all old stuff are very good, except for dates, beer, and little fish.